the Centaur. That is an upper stage rocket, and it was used on top of the Atlas boosters to send some, in the Surveyor program, probes to the moon between 1966 and 1968. 5 of the 7 made it, and they landed there, took photographs and videos. They checked if the ground is walkable. They had to test a remote kit to test how the ground is, and they saw that it is volcanic basalt, which has been made down into dust by meteorites. Therefore was it used. It was also used for Centaur when in the Pioneer program to go to Jupiter, and when the book was written, planned to Saturn and to Venus, and also was it used on top of a Titan III to go to Mars, or as planned in the Viking program. And look where on Mars. One stays in the air, one goes onto the ground, it splits up, one makes surveys from the outside, one goes to the ground and looks if there's maybe life on Mars. That is one idea to look for. Now, and that is according to the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 1, Part 1, Structure of the Universe, written by Ian Ridker and Jonas Shakespeare, on the page 52 and some others. Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn space science. Today, Centaur, and after we've done it, we're gonna do body center training. And if you participate in the body center training, then it's at your own risk. Centaur, that is a US upper stage rocket used for launching satellites and space probes. Okay, it is the name for, by the United States of America, built upper stage rocket used for launching satellites and also space probes. On the top of the Atlas boosters, the Centaur was used to launch the Surveyor series of probes, which made soft landings on the Moon, and the Pioneer probes for Jupiter. Let's take one more look at Atlas. We already did Atlas. Atlas, which was launching rockets used by the US space program. Originally a ballistic missile, it launched the first American astronauts into orbit and sent probes to the Moon with pellets. So Atlas is a launching rocket, but I don't really know the difference. But launching rocket, Centaur is a upper stage rocket. On top of Atlas boosters, so the Atlas booster on top of the Centaur, it was used to launch the Surveyor series of probes, which made soft landings on the Moon, and the Pioneer probes to Jupiter. Centaur was also used with a Titan III rocket to send the Viking space probes to Mars. Let's take one look at Surveyors. A series of US probes which landed on the Moon and sent back pictures and information about the lunar surface. 5 of the 7 surveyors were successful. The first landed in June 66 and the last in January 86. So 5 made it. Of these space probes were sent to the Moon to make pictures and gather information. Television on board the surveyors viewed the lunar surface and showed that it would be safe to walk on. A mechanical arm and a remote analysis kit on some of the surveyors found that the surface was composed of volcanic rocks like basalt. These had been broken down into fine dust by the impact of meteorites. Okay, it was taking pictures and also videos to look that it is safe to walk on it. There was also a mechanical arm and a remote analysis kit. A mechanical arm, and we made also analyzation of the surface. We found out it is a lot of volcanic rock like basalt, which had been broken down to fine dust by the impact of meteorites between 66 and 68. Mechanical arm, remote analysis kit, basalt, volcanic rock basalt, and 5 of 7 made it. Pictures, information, safe to walk with video. Okay. And the Pioneer probes to Jupiter. A series of US space probes designed to explore the solar system. The first 4 pioneers in 58 and 59 who attempted moon probes but failed. Later pioneers investigated conditions in the space between the planets that monitored the solar system. Pioneer 10 and 11 flew past Jupiter in December 73 and 74, sending back measurements of a planet and close-up photographs of its clouds. Pioneer 11 then flew on to examine Saturn, where it is expected to arrive in 79, so the book is from 1978. Pioneers 12 and 13 were planned to examine the atmosphere of Venus. Okay, with these rockets, they flew to Jupiter and made pictures, but also to Saturn, and this also planned to go and also to Venus. So they made pictures of Jupiter, and they also tried to do it of Saturn and Venus, and examine the atmosphere of Venus. Okay, but this Pioneer is just looking at the planets, and Centaur was also used with a Titan III rocket to send the Viking space probes to Mars. Viking. 2 US probes to Mars, which were launched in August and September 75 and orbited the planet in June and August 76. The first landed on Mars on July 20, the second September 3. Each Viking comes in 2 parts: an orbiter designed to circle the planet, and a survey it from above. It's to circle the planet and survey it from above, and a lander planned to touch down. So one part is designed to circle, one part to land. One is circling around and surveying, the other one lands and goes onto the ground. The orbiter relays back to Earth information from the lander, which includes photographs taken on the surface of Mars. I think the lander stays there. The lander sends information to the circler, and just the circler sends. I don't know. The orbiter relays back to Earth. I don't know what relays means. Back to Earth information from the lander, which includes photographs taken on the surface of Mars. Okay, going to Mars. Viking spacecraft was going to Mars and looking there for the ground and make pictures. That's enough. Okay, Centaur, that is an upper stage rocket, and it was used on boosters on top of the Atlas booster, and it was used to launch the Surveyor probes to the moon. They landed between 66 and 68 and looked onto the surface. 66 and 68, 5 of 7 made it, and they looked on the lunar surface, safe to walk, taking pictures, videos, testing that it was volcanic rock basalt, and which had been broken down into fine dust by the impact of meteorites. And also was it used of Centaur on top of Atlas, used to send the Surveyor, Moon 6668, and also the Pioneers to Jupiter, Saturn, and planets also Saturn and Venus. And then also on top used with a Titan III rocket in the Viking space program to Mars. One circling around, one going onto the ground. Okay, what is this? Okay, Centaur on top of Atlas booster, stage rocket on top of Atlas, Surveyor, and Pioneer on top of Titan, then Viking. Surveyor, Pioneer, Viking. And there's the Titan III. The Centaur, that is an upper stage rocket, and it was used on top of the Atlas boosters to send some, in the Surveyor program, probes to the moon between 1966 and 1968. 5 of the 7 made it, and they landed there, took photographs and videos. They checked if the ground is walkable. They had to test a remote kit to test how the ground is, and they saw that it is volcanic basalt, which has been made down into dust by meteorites. Therefore was it used. It was also used for Centaur then in the Pioneer program to go to Jupiter, and when the book was written, planned to Saturn and to Venus, and also was it used on top of a Titan III to go to Mars, or as planned in the Viking program. And look where on Mars. One stays in the air, one goes onto the ground, it splits up. One makes surveys from the outside, one goes to the ground and looks if there's maybe life on Mars. That is the one idea to look for. Now, and that is according to the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 1, Part 1, Structure of the Universe, written by Ian Ritmer von Jonas Shakespeare, on the page 52 and some others. I'm going to turn off the camera. And that was the space science part. If you were here for space science, you can go directly to the next part of space science, where we will continue with space science. If you stay here and participate in the body center training with the hours. The feet are sitting hip width apart, go a bit down into the knees, flex the legs, press them together, straighten one leg. Bend it again. The other leg, straighten it. Bend it again. A bit apart, down, flex the legs, press them together, over to one side. And to the other side. Middle, closer together, press to the outside. One leg up, right angle with the leg, flex the foot, even the line, hips taller with the back, press from the top against the knee, little bend in the elbow. And press from the inside. And press up and to the side. And one more, press from the outside, up slowly. Close again. Our leg, up and press from the top. And from the inside. And up and to the side. And from the outside and up. Cross again. And now 3 exercises on the ground. First a side plank on the elbow. Then with one leg up. Then on the long arm. One arm out, one leg up, pull the knee to the elbow. And over to the other side. First on the elbow. And one leg up. And on the long arm. One arm out, one leg up, knee to elbow. And pull again. And when heel onto the ground, pull the toes in, move the leg from left to right, up here. One knee up. Other knee. Take the leg at the ankle, tuck the tailbone in, change. Next to the sides, breathing that down. Out, in and up. And out. Breathe in and close the legs. And breathe again out. It was the body center training. I thank you very much, and until next time.